Hey guys, Big Films 39 here with a new Blu-ray update. I planned to do one of these back in May and I didn't get around to it. My last one was in March, so kind of a while ago. And yeah, I didn't get to it. It was a busy summer, but that's over with, and now I have time to do an update. And I want to do them more frequently so I don't have such a huge stack. And this video is probably going to be pretty long. I would prefer to have shorter videos and show my updates more frequently, but I have a big stack here. It will be a long video. These are all the movies I've watched since my last update. I think this is my 6th ever Blu-ray update, 5th or 6th. It'll be in the title which number it is, but yeah, excited to show you guys everything I've seen. And these are not all the movies I've picked up recently. Some of these movies have been in my collection for years, but I've just gotten around to watching them, and I do that so that I can talk about the movies in my update and share my opinion on them. Yeah, and real quickly, I want to mention Shopkick, which is a really great, cool, free app, and you open it when you walk into stores and you get points just for being there. It's as simple as that. There's no catch at all. Another blue tuber here on YouTube, my friend Ben the Movie G, he's the one who introduced me to it, and I've been using it for several months now. I've already gotten a couple of gift cards, but you guys should check that out. It's an awesome app. My link will be in the description, and you can join through my link to download the app, and if you join through my link, you'll be helping me out. So check that out, but let's get started. Alright, so we have Howl's Moving Castle, Studio Ghibli film. I got this about 2 years ago when I rejoined the Disney Movie Club, and you get that great offer, like 7 Blu-rays for like 25 bucks, something like that, and I loaded up on these Studio Ghibli films. Unfortunately, I really didn't like this. The Studio Ghibli films have become really hit or miss for me. I've only seen a handful, but of the ones I've seen, there's only one that I truly was impressed with and am eager to watch again, and that's The Secret World of Arrietty, and it's because they kept the story very, very simple. All of these Studio Ghibli films have a lot of magic and that magic mystical theme, but this movie was just a mess. There were so many things going on. I found it very confusing and very hard to follow. There's this guy Howl who's a wizard, and he's following this young girl, and this girl gets a spell put on her, and then there's this evil witch who's also a dog, and there's a walking scarecrow and a moving castle and just all kinds of crazy stuff, and just felt very messy. No real structure to the storyline or the plot, and I just didn't enjoy it. Yeah, and unfortunately I don't think I'm going to be going back to watch this one, maybe ever. Other than The Secret World of Arrietty, the other one I thought was acceptable and I enjoyed was Whisper of the Heart, which also had a much simpler storyline than this. And then I've seen Ponyo and My Neighbor Totoro, which again are not as convoluted as this, but I didn't enjoy those either. So for the Studio Ghibli films, I think I'm going to have to watch them before I start buying them. This was a blind buy. I know Princess Mononoke is supposed to be a really popular one. That's one I want to see, but I just don't trust them anymore to blind buy them. So Howl's Moving Castle was not happy with this. And if you can see there, you can see the sticker residue, and you can see that torn piece of cardboard there. I had this lying on my shelf flat like that. I had another movie on top of it, and it got stuck with that sticker residue, and when I tried to separate them, it tore off a piece of the slip cover there. So that kind of sucked, but I don't know, it's kind of fitting because the movie sucked. All right, Fast and Furious 6. It's the same color as my tank top. That's it's kind of nice. But Fast and Furious 6, I got this back when Furious 7 came out, and they were doing the sale at Best Buy where it came with the movie ticket. I had seen this when it was in theaters. It was the first Fast and Furious movie that I saw in theaters, and I had seen all of them before that point, and I wasn't a huge fan of the series. 5 is where they kind of turned it around, but 6 is my second favorite. I like it better than 5. I don't like it more than 7, but a solid action film. There's some kind of lulls throughout the film where there's not much going on, a lot of talking, not much action, but some nice action scenes. The Rock, I think, did more in this than he did in Fast 5, and the ending, they're just cars flying and explosions going on, all that good stuff. So I think Fast and Furious 6, it's a solid movie, the second best one of the series. So and it was pretty cheap, I think under $10, and it came with the ticket, so that was a great deal. And then Fast 5, the only other Fast and Furious movie I own. I did pre-order 7 because that was my favorite, and I did a movie review of it, so you can check that out on my channel. But Fast 5, I think a lot of people like this better than Fast 6, but to me, it just doesn't really have enough action. I think The Rock is really underused. I mean, I am glad they brought him into the series at this point in this movie, but in this movie he really doesn't do much. He has one scene in the beginning, and that's the only ass kicking he does in the whole movie. A lot of people like the heist element, and it was nice. It was different from the other Fast and Furious movies, but I prefer the real action oriented theme like 6 and 7. So not my favorite, but one I could watch again, and I definitely like it more than 1 through 4. So yeah. Alright, next up, we got a good one here, Justice League Gods and Monsters. This came out just 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've been collecting these for a while now. I have every steelbook that Target put out, and this is another Target steelbook. I didn't get this in the store because I couldn't find it. I was lucky to get one on eBay. I got it used for $20. It didn't come with the DVD, but I didn't mind that. Yeah, Gods and Monsters. Another series, like I said, about the Studio Ghibli films, the DC animated original movies. They've really become kind of hit or miss for me. I never know what to expect. The trailer for this just really didn't interest me. Not that I thought it was going to be terrible, but nothing stood out to me that told me this was going to be a special film, but I really liked it and was impressed with it. They revamped all of the 3 superheroes that comprise the Justice League in this movie: Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. They give them all new origin stories. They're completely different people and heroes. I did a full movie review and unboxing of this. Should be the latest video on my channel, so if you want to see my more in-depth thoughts on this, check out that video. But I was really impressed with it. The action was great. It was very memorable, something that previous films like Justice League War and Throne of Atlantis were really missing. The action in here from the first scene, is very vivid and gory. I loved it. And a clever story too, and the way they tied in all of the origin stories and were still able to carry out the main storyline. I really like that. So I was really happy with this. The next movie is Batman Bad Blood, where Batman goes missing, and Batgirl and Nightwing and Robin, they have to look for him. And again, that trailer didn't really impress me, but I was wrong about this one. I was wrong about the previous one, Batman versus Robin, which I'm going to talk about next, and I love that one even more than this one. Assault on Arkham was another one I thought was going to suck, and I loved that one. So, but then, you know, Throne of Atlantis and War, Son of Batman, I thought all of those were really crappy. So I'm hoping that, you know, they can get to a point where every movie they put out, I can really expect to be satisfied with it. So, you know, they did real well with their last two, Gods and Monsters and Batman vs. Robin. So hopefully they continue that streak with Batman Bad Blood. But Batman vs. Robin, again, this is the Steelbook, and if I didn't show the back art on the other one, there it is. Really generic and crappy, actually. Really disappointed with that artwork. But this one, Batman vs. Robin, you get great artwork on the back there. And this one I liked even more. I thought this was a step above Justice League Gods and Monsters. This one I really wasn't looking forward to because Son of Batman I hated. I thought, you know, basically the movie was Batman being a babysitter to this really bratty punk kid. And it felt like a kid's movie, you know, Batman chasing him all over the city for doing, you know, just stupid stuff that didn't matter, like he would steal the Batmobile and stuff like that. And then I saw the trailer for this one. It looked like, you know, just a continuation of that, just part two. But I love this. They went really in depth with kind of a dark story here, the Court of Owls, and there's this kind of secret underground clan in Gotham. Really good action, again, better than Justice League War and Throne of Atlantis. And I really didn't expect them to, you know, flesh out a thoughtful, creative, and deep story. So it had a dark and gritty feel. I really like this one. I'd give it like an A-. Very good. Alright, a couple more Steelbooks. An American Werewolf in London. This came out last November, and I got it on release day. I had never seen the movie. It was a blind buy, but I was familiar with it because it was always on AMC's Fear Fest. The month of October leading up to Halloween, AMC, I used to watch, you know, a lot of movies from that marathon, a lot of old school horror movies, and this was one that was heavily featured on that marathon for years. I don't know if it is so much anymore, and I haven't really kept up with that marathon in a while, but I think I saw the ending once maybe on TV, but it looked like a cool steelbook. It wasn't too expensive, I think 10 or 15 bucks, and something I wanted to take a chance on. I didn't love the movie, you know, it's really B-rate and campy, but the ending is really, you know, where it's at for this movie. And it's something I could definitely watch every Halloween season, so that's enough for me, you know, not really a great horror classic, you know, kind of dry humor, but it was okay. I didn't really have a problem with it, but wasn't really impressed with it either. All right, next up, Interstellar. This is the Target Steelbook. I was actually planning on getting the Walmart Digipack style thing, but then when I got to the store and I took a look at it, I just thought that looked too cheap. So I wanted to go with the Steelbook, and even though I don't think, you know, this is really great artwork, I am happy with the, I don't know, I guess just the quality of the composition of the Steelbook. So I think I'm happy that I went with this one. But Interstellar, I really wish I would have reviewed this movie just because it was really controversial and most people seem to love it. When I saw it in the theaters, I was honestly just bored with it. I thought it was a very messy story. They were trying to hit on way too many themes. You know, it felt like Prometheus. They mentioned these, I think they called them guardians in the movie, or the creators. You know, they tried to they try to touch on that front, and then I really didn't like how they kept going back between space and the family drama on Earth. I thought that was really disjointed, and then the ending. Well, before the ending, I just thought the movie was them going from like planet to planet, and the spaceship was almost falling apart in every scene, and it didn't interest me. It bored me, and the ending I just thought was not only a cop-out, but just like unrealistic and irrelevant, and just not meaningful really in any way. If you want to see a movie that really explores the space, the space and the time relativity theme in a far more entertaining and intelligent way, just watch the original Planet of the Apes movie from the 60s. In that movie, they address that theme for about 15 minutes and at the beginning, and then you have to watch the entire movie. But I thought what that movie addressed, with the space theme and time relativity, I thought it was way more entertaining than what they did, what they were trying to do in the entire movie in here. And I've really enjoyed McConaughey's resurgence the last couple of years, but I really didn't like him in this movie. I just thought it was kind of a bland, generic role, just a family man, and really anyone could have pulled this off. So I don't like to see, really great actors in these roles where they don't really have much to do. But I had to get it just because it's such a popular film, and I wanted to watch it again. But I feel pretty much the same way about it. Just kind of a boring movie. I'd probably give it like a B-. Alright, a classic Disney film, The Lion King. I got this Blu-ray about almost 3 years ago, and it's one that I loved as a kid. When I was really young, I had the VHS of this. I think I even had The Lion King 2 on VHS. And I always remembered loving it, but I didn't remember, details about the movie. And then I never owned it on DVD, and I don't think I ever saw it after I was a kid, like 5 or 6 years old, and then, years and years and years later now, I watched it again. But I always had in my mind that this was like the greatest Disney movie ever. When I did my Frozen review, I said, that Frozen didn't touch this, because people were saying Frozen was the best Disney movie of all time. And watching it again, it just confirmed my suspicion. I do think like this is the gold standard of what Disney movies should be. It's good versus evil. It's kind of adventurous. There's some violence in there. It's emotional. Things that Frozen just didn't have, in my opinion. But the only problem I have with this movie is that its scope, its world is very small. I mean, you have this animal kingdom, but you really only have like the family of lions, Simba, Mufasa, and the mother, Nala, I think is her name, or that might be the girl lion. But it's very small, very few characters. It feels like a very small world. You have this big grassland, but it feels very empty, and that's my only problem with it. But other than that, I think the story is really good. It's emotional, a good versus evil story, and I think my favorite, definitely up there, probably top 3 favorite Disney movies of all time. So I'm definitely a big fan of The Lion King, and I have Lion King 2 somewhere in my pile here, which I'm going to talk about. And I didn't think that was such a bad sequel, but what I think they really should have done somewhere along the way. They should have done it with Lion King too, but I think they could still do it now and people would eat it up. But in this movie, they never explain Scar's origin. They never explain, what his deal was. Why does he hate Mufasa and Simba? Why is he so evil? I mean, this is the king's brother, and we don't get any kind of explanation as to why he is the way he is. So I think they should make a movie just about Scar and his origin story. I would really love to see something like that. I mean, that would be like Godfather 2 kind of stuff if they did that, taking a classic villain like Scar and giving him his own movie. But yeah, Lion King, one of the best Disney movies ever. All right, this is what I'm passionate about here. This is Batman the Animated Series Volume 1. I actually picked this one up a long time ago. I think it was 2004, and I remember getting it in a Target store. I think it was pretty expensive back then, about probably 30 or 40 bucks. And I bought it back then, and I don't think I watched it until maybe about 2010. Yeah, and then this summer, because there haven't been a lot of new releases coming out, hardly any over the summer, I completed Batman the Animated Series, got every volume, as well as Batman Beyond, the Justice League, and X-Men the Animated Series. And I unbox every season, so you can go check out those unboxings. But this is what I grew up with, Batman the Animated Series. When I would come home from school every day, this is what I would watch. And I just really loved it. It was kind of my thing. And after this series finished, I continued on with Batman Beyond, which I loved, and I got into the Justice League first season or so maybe, and then I don't think I watched the later seasons of that, but I got them all now, and I want to revisit these shows that I just loved. And this is what really inspired my love for superhero films. The ones we have today are all great, the Avengers and everything, but I don't think I would be as into them as if I hadn't grown up with these shows. So, this is what I really get excited about. I have all the seasons. I watched the first two, and I watched this again. I said I rewatched this probably in 2010, and I actually remember not liking it so much, but I watched it again now, and it's really good. I mean, if you didn't grow up with it, if you don't really love this kind of stuff, you probably won't think so highly of it, but I really enjoyed it. It's Batman the Animated Series. It's really good stuff. There's some goofy episodes in the first volume here. I've got Batman in my basement where these kids they carry Batman, an unconscious Batman, back home to their basement, and they have to protect him from the Penguin. Or an episode where the Joker kidnaps this kid at his birthday party. Some goofy stuff like that, but most of the episodes I really enjoyed. And then season 2, they really cut that goofiness out, and it felt a lot more adult. So let's just talk about that one now. And this one is one that I picked up this summer. I got it used on eBay. I paid about $20 or so, I think, for it. You can get it brand new, I think, at Walmart, Walmart.com. I think for $15. I should have done that, but yeah, they cut out the goofiness in this. It felt a lot more mature, more action-packed episodes, and better storylines here. There's a two-part episode here, Robin's Reckoning, where they give Robin's backstory, and there's a lot of action and that kind of dark theme that Batman is known for, and that I love those two episodes. I prefer season 2, but really more of the same, just Batman kicking ass and solving mysteries. It's dark. I really like it. And by the way, I forgot to mention on season 1, I thought just an amazing episode was the Mr. Freeze episode. By far my favorite of this volume. You know, they gave Mr. Freeze this. His voice was awesome. It was, it was kind of filtered and sounded alien-like and robotic. I loved it, and his backstory I thought was just really chilling and creepy. And they made a movie out of that, Sub-Zero, which I also bought this summer and unboxed that. And that's a movie I really enjoyed and watched several times when I was younger. So I'm excited to watch that again. But I really love that episode, the Mr. Freeze one. I think it's called Heart of Ice, I think. But yeah, really enjoyed both seasons, and I can't wait to get into seasons 3 and 4. Alright, next up, Mission Impossible 3. This is a movie I saw last summer. I watched Mission Impossible 1 through 4 last summer, and I bought this Blu-ray now. It came again at Best Buy. It was $10 and came with a ticket to see the new one. 1 and 2 I didn't like, and I thought I wasn't going to like any of the Mission Impossible movies after seeing 1 and 2, but this completely turned the series around for me. I don't own 1 or 2, and I don't want to, and I actually just watched this yesterday and finished it today, the Blu-ray, and I have to, I thought Ghost Protocol, I thought that was my favorite Mission Impossible movie last summer when I watched all of them, but I just watched Ghost Protocol. That's also in this update, but that one didn't hold up on the second viewing for me, and this one did. I like the cinematography a lot more in this, the way they filmed the action scenes. I thought it was just a lot more engaging, and you have some, the typical great Tom Cruise stunt work, but Philip Seymour Hoffman, by far the best villain of the Mission Impossible franchise of all the movies, and I loved his performance in this. Probably my favorite performance of his ever. And MI3, pretty much a non-stop action movie, and I think I have to say I like this better than 4. And again, I really thought after I viewed them the first time a year ago, I thought 4 was that was my favorite. Even when I just reviewed Rogue Nation just recently, check out my review for that. But when I reviewed that, I said it didn't live up to Ghost Protocol. After watching Ghost Protocol again, I think this is right up there with Rogue Nation for me. I think I might say Rogue Nation is my favorite, but I don't know. I think I'll have to wait to rewatch Rogue Nation again to make my final judgment on that. But I think this is going to be hard to beat. This is a really good and underrated movie of the series, so I really like Mission Impossible 3. Alright, the Lethal Weapon 4-film collection. This I got a couple years ago. It was 2 summers ago. It was at Best Buy's last upgrade and save, I think. It was $20. I think I got it for $15 with the trade and save. And I had always wanted that box set for a long time before I got this. But the box set was really expensive. I think I remember one time in store at Best Buy, it was like $80. And I know it went on sale at various points, and I remember it was $25 at one point, and unfortunately I didn't pick it up. But I wasn't aware when I got this that 1 and 2 are the old transfers, not the remastered ones, and I was really disappointed about that. But watching them again, and I'm not gonna be able to watch these every day. I would like to, because I love the movies, but for as infrequently as I'm going to watch them, I think the transfers were fine. I mean, I'm sure the remastered ones are a lot better, and I would like to get those, but I think these do the job. I had seen most of these movies. I think maybe four or one of them I didn't see when I was younger, but before I bought the Blu-ray, I was familiar with these. You know, action movies. Action's my favorite genre, and you know, I loved Die Hard when I was young, and these movies. And I rewatched them all, and I just had so much fun with them. I'm having trouble remembering, you know, which movie is which, and how I rank them. But I just really enjoyed all of them. Great comedy and great action, and really good, you know, kind of police adventure, crime thriller stuff. So I highly recommend it. I think it's right up there with Die Hard for you know, cop action movies. A great series, great action. You have to check this out if you're an action movie fan, if you've never seen these. And kind of underrated. I think everyone talks about Die Hard a lot more in, you know, Schwarzenegger movies than they do about Lethal Weapon, but this is really good stuff. Shrek 2. I got this, I think it was this last Black Friday. It might have been the one before, but it was $7 at Walmart. And this is a movie I loved when I was younger. Another one of my childhood favorites. I owned the DVD, and I watched it endlessly. I just watched it countless times. And watching the Blu-ray again, it just didn't really do as much for me as it did when I was a kid, but you know, still some enjoyable scenes. I think my favorite Shrek scene ever is in this movie when they get to the kingdom and they're eating in the palace, and they bring out the chicken, and Donkey says, Mexican food, my favorite. I love that, but yeah, just felt a little stale and not too exciting. Got bored with it towards the end. You know, I'll rewatch it at some point, but I was kind of sad that I didn't love it as much as I did when I was younger. But it's still okay. And then the first one, I also got this whenever I got the second one on some Black Friday. It was the same price, $7, and I wasn't as familiar with this one as 2, but I saw both of them in the theaters when they came out way back. But I would have told you when I was younger that 2 was definitely the better movie, and after watching them again, I think I have to say 1 is better. It's just a more intriguing story, better pacing. More interesting. I liked 1 better. Above the Law, Steven Seagal. When did I get this? I think I got this for my birthday 3 years ago almost. And this is one I saw on TV once when I was a kid, and I loved it. I always wanted to see it again, and I have seen many Seagal movies throughout the years. A lot of them are kind of, you know, shitty and B-rate. This was always kind of the gold standard in my mind. And I got the Blu-ray, watched it again. I can't say I love it, but definitely one of the better Seagal films. I have to watch Under Siege again. I think my sense is that Under Siege is probably a more polished movie than this, but, you know, it has some good action, an okay story. Nothing amazing, but if you like Seagal, this is definitely one of the ones worth checking out. Above the Law. All right, Ghost Protocol. So yeah, I already mentioned I watched Mission Impossible 1 through 4 last summer, and I had seen 1 before years ago. Didn't like it the first time, and then I watched 1 again last summer. I didn't like it at all. 2 sucked, and then 3 loved it. 4 on the first viewing again. I loved this even more. I just thought it was action packed. I love the Dubai Tower scene, which has, you know, become really iconic. And after watching Rogue Nation before I rewatched this, I still thought this was better. Watched it again, and I don't know. I just didn't like it. I thought the cinematography was really weird. It didn't have that polished look that Rogue Nation has, and it didn't have that gritty look that 3 has. It feels, I don't know, a little cartoonish. That's how I would describe it. The action scenes kind of felt a little corny and cheesy. I prefer the gritty feel of 3 and again the more polished feel of 5. So I don't know, definitely better than 2 and 1. Still fun and enjoyable. The movie gets right to the kind of heist scenes pretty quickly in this, so I wasn't really bored, but just didn't. On the second viewing, I did not like it as much as 3. So Ghost Protocol, a little disappointed with this on the second viewing. Planes, Fire, and Rescue. This is one I got from the Disney Movie Club. I think it was the feature title back in November. I think it came with Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. And this came out last July, and I didn't get to see it. I saw the first Planes movie, also have it on Blu-ray, but that movie sucked. And I thought this looked, I thought it was going to be a little better, which it is. There's still not much going on. Instead of the planes in this this world famous, world class race, Dusty, he's not able to race anymore, so he has to join this team of firefighting planes at like this resort somewhere out in the wilderness. And I like that kind of simplicity about it. It's definitely not as horrendous as the first movie, but really nothing special either. And that's about all I can say about it. It's not a good movie in any sense, really, but it's just okay. And yeah, I feel a little embarrassed talking about Planes because it just feels like a baby movie, but better than the first. But not going to be revisiting it too many more times. Maybe once again in my life. This is The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. This was the Best Buy Steelbook. And I reviewed this movie, saw it in the theaters when it came out. The first Hobbit movie, I still think is the best, and I was really blown away by that. 2, I thought, was a big drop-off. Did not like 2. And then 3, when I saw it in the theaters, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really up there with 1, competing to be the best movie of the franchise. But when I saw the Blu-ray, I really did not enjoy it as much as I did seeing it in the theaters. There's a lot of talking and slowness for much of the first I'd say 2/3 of the movie, and then the big payoff at the end that I had expected from the first viewing didn't feel as epic or as big. The action scenes, I just wasn't as engaged during the second viewing. And yeah, I don't know what happened. I was really blown away by it in the theaters, and watching it again, it didn't do much for me. I would definitely still rather watch this than Desolation of Smog, but on the first viewing, again, I thought it rivaled the first Hobbit movie, but now I think the first one definitely stands above 2 and 3 as easily the best Hobbit movie. So yeah. All right, we're winding down kind of here, so it's going to take a while to get through these last titles here. But Birdman, this is the Best Buy exclusive packaging. I really like the red slip cover, and then it opens up like that, and you get some, I don't know, what is it? Oh, it's just some quotes from critics, but Birdman. Uh, Saw the movie, did not see it in theaters, and got all the praise. Won the Oscar for his best director, right? And by the way, The Revenant. I think that just looks amazing. I can't wait to see that. But Birdman, I didn't get to see it in theaters. I actually thought it was kind of a little hokey from what I was hearing, and I saw it when it came out on DVD. I rented it, and I just loved it. I really don't care about the cinematography. I know everyone made such a big deal about the tracking shot, but to me, that's just kind of extra. I really loved the theater theme of this movie. I always find theater kind of a dry thing that's not really exciting or entertaining, and this movie just made theater and theatrical plays, the whole idea of that and how they executed in this movie, they just made it very, very entertaining, very dramatic, what theater should really be, in my opinion. Not like a high society kind of thing, but just seeing people act out these really kind of bizarre and very charismatic performances. I love that aspect here. Michael Keaton just gives a great, really kind of almost maniacal performance. Loved it. There's comedy throughout it, and just a very different story and movie. I really liked it. Watched the Blu-ray again. Wasn't quite as excited, and that I'm saying that for almost all of these movies, and that's just something that kind of happens. The first viewing is always better. But I didn't really think, less of it. I still enjoyed it on the second viewing, and will definitely be rewatching it. So, really high on Birdman. I'm glad it got all the praise it did and won the Oscar. So, yeah, that was all great, and really solid movie. The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. This I didn't think was such a bad idea. Usually the Disney sequels everyone just hates, and a lot of them really did not need to be made. But this I thought it was okay. This kid here, you kind of get the sense that he's Scar's son. He's not. He's just a kid from Scar's clan when he was banished from the kingdom. But decent movie. There's that dark theme in there. Simba hates these people who followed Scar, and the daughter. I don't remember her name, but she has a relationship with this the line here, Scar's kid follower, and a nice movie. Definitely not as good as the first in any way, but it was okay. Not a bad Disney sequel at all. Scarface. This is the Universal Real Hero Steelbook. I got this back in June. It was on sale at Best Buy. It was like $8 or $9, and I know you'll think I'm crazy, but I've never seen the movie before getting the Blu-ray. I saw the ending once with a friend who owned the movie, and he was a huge fan of it. But other than that, I had never seen it. And I'm not a fan of gangster films, so didn't really. Not only did I not love the movie, I kind of disliked it, and I know no one will agree with me on that, but I found it boring, and they just dragged it out, and it was just the same old thing for probably the second half of the movie. It's just this guy taking drugs and abusing his wife that never wanted to marry him, and then the ending is good, and even early in the movie there was some action that I liked. But it's a real character piece, and it's slow. But I didn't even find his character that interesting, to be honest. I'm just not a fan really of the gangster films and the mafia genre. It's a nice looking steelbook, and it's a classic. So I guess one you kind of need to have in your collection, but just not really a fan. Got to be honest. All right, Transformers. This was another Black Friday pickup. This last Black Friday, it was like $3, and I had seen this once on like a really crappy, low quality bootleg where I could barely make out the images. I saw that when it came out, and then I saw 2 and 3, which I hated 2. I thought 3 was okay, but nothing that really changed my feelings on the franchise. And then I saw 4 last summer, just terrible. Really an awful movie. And 1 was was that movie that I didn't really remember a whole lot about, and I thought it could be kind of the saving grace of the series. And I had heard other YouTubers say similar things, like this is the one that's okay. So I got it on Black Friday for $3 and watched it this summer. And for about the first half of the movie, I was really into it, and I was thinking, yeah, this is the one Transformer movie that made it out all right. And there was good action there in the beginning. There was this scene in the desert where there's this like scorpion transformer, and the army guys are shooting it up, and I thought, this is really cool stuff. And then you get to the second half of the movie, and your typical Michael Bay explosion fest comes in, all the government conspiracy stuff that doesn't make any sense, and just makes the plot really convoluted. All of that comes in, and you're reminded why this is not really any better than the other Transformers movies. So first half of the movie, pretty cool. Second half just fell off of a cliff and into the dumpster. So unfortunately, did not even provide one good movie in the Transformers series. For me, this was just another disappointment. The District 9 Steelbook. These came out, I think, last December, or last November. That's when I picked it up. And I saw this movie a couple summers ago before Elysium came out. I think it was actually the first movie I ever reviewed on my channel. And I really, really liked it when I first saw it. A very different kind of movie. It starts off goofy, but actually gets kind of emotional and serious. And the action I thought was really good. I liked the sci-fi element. I liked the aliens, of course. The CG is just very apparent, but I didn't mind how the aliens looked in this. Really liked it, and watching it again, I wasn't so impressed with it. Still enjoyed it. There's still jokes here and there. There's cool things going on with the visuals. Cool kind of alien weaponry and stuff. But just didn't love it as much as I did the first viewing. But I think definitely a more creative movie than Elysium. Elysium, when I first saw it, I would have said, that was a better movie than District 9. After rewatching both movies, Elysium, I think, is just very, very bland and generic. And this, at least, was ballsy. They really went for it in this movie, kind of over the top. But I think it really paid off more than Elysium, just being being a more courageous movie. They didn't ruin the action in this with shaky cam like they did in Elysium, and yeah, the story was just more compelling and better. Definitely not as polished as Elysium. You know, it's more low budget, not as clean of a look as Elysium, but I think it's definitely the more solid movie. Alright, this one I'm really excited to talk about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the Best Buy Steelbook. It looks pretty cool there. It's kind of colorful. You got Shredder on the back. This movie came out last summer. I saw it in the theaters, and I was like, that was alright. Everyone was just expecting this movie to be a complete flop, and you know, everyone was saying it was going to be terrible, and I think my expectations were so low for it that when I saw it the first time, I was like, hey, that really wasn't that bad. It didn't do anything that horrendous. It was just kind of a fun movie. I was expecting to buy it if it was ever on sale for like less than $10. You know, I thought the Steelbook was kind of cool, but I never wanted to pay full price for this. And then when I got it this summer in June, I think on Best Buy, it had just recently gone on sale, or I was just browsing the site, and I saw it on sale for $18, and I had a $10 coupon from Shopkick again, so you definitely want to check that out. Join through my link in the description, but I had a $10 Shopkick gift card, so I could get this under $10. I was really excited about that because, you know, I didn't want to pay full price. I was able to get the Steelbook for under $10. And watching this the second time, oh my god, I don't know how everyone just got this completely wrong. This is the one movie out of all of these movies, Birdman and everything, all these movies that, you know, technically are way better, but this movie is so good. It's the one movie that Michael Bay is associated with that he just didn't turn into a big piece of crap. This was a lot of fun, and, you know, everyone will say the story was so stupid and, you know, just, it's a shallow story, nothing meaningful going on. I mean, first of all, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and, you know, I love the originals, but to be honest, the originals didn't really do anything that amazing either. I mean, there's just these goofy-looking turtles eating pizza in their in the sewers, and yeah, but this new the remake, it's just such a fun movie. It has really good action scenes. Some scenes there's a little bit of shaky cam, but other scenes they use a slow-mo effect really well in one scene, and it's really colorful. You know, the turtles I don't think look that great, but it's just a colorful, really fun movie with enjoyable action. And I thought it was really refreshing that we just got a really simple story that feels kind of stupid and you know, stupid and irrelevant. They didn't try to make this a big deal out of the villain. It was just, you know, kind of a simple plot. And the second viewing, I just loved it. When I first saw it, I'd give it like a B minus C plus, and now I would definitely give it a B plus. Just to compare it to a movie that everyone seems to have loved this summer, Jurassic World, which I saw around. I saw this maybe a couple weeks after Jurassic World. I think this is a way more entertaining movie than Jurassic World. So I love this. I can't wait for the second one. I hope they make it a little more action packed. You know, cut all the shaky cam out. But I hope they don't try to make the story serious. Just keep it really lighthearted and fun like this one, and it should be a success. So I highly recommend this if you haven't seen it. I have the Blu-ray of the originals. I need to watch those again to do a fair comparison. But I just think everyone was just kind of jaded about this, and we all kind of bought into this is so stupid and such a shallow story. But watching it again, it was just very effective in being a really entertaining, fun movie, and not even entertaining and fun like some of other Michael Bay's movies are perceived to be, like Pain and Gain. I thought that was just a horrible movie, really tasteless, and again over the top, and kind of similar to this, but not similar to this. This is way different. This is it's a fun movie, but it doesn't really have substance. But I don't even really know what I'm saying now, but I just think everyone really got this wrong, and I love this movie. Alright, we're approaching 1 hour. This is why I want to do these more frequently, have shorter videos, but we only have a couple more here. iRobot, this is one I picked up this summer, back in June, and I got this from Walmart.com. It was like $8. What I actually ordered, and what I was intending to get, was the one that was part of the new wave of steelbooks. It had a different slip cover, and it was coming with those the movie poster and the faceplate. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess Walmart they're like Target. They fuck up your online order, no matter how simple it's supposed to be. But they sent me this, and it came with the slipcover still. I think this was a version from a couple years ago. I mean, they've re-released this so many times. I don't quite know which one this was, but I like the slipcover. I think I don't know if I like this one more than the new one I was supposed to get, but anyways, the movie. I saw this in theaters actually way back. I think it was 2004. Yeah, 2004. And I always remember liking the movie. It was so long ago that I just didn't really remember anything about it. And I don't think I ever saw it again after seeing it in the theaters. Got the Blu-ray. It was cheap. And this was a really solid sci-fi action movie. And this was before the whole advent of shaky cam. And it's just so apparent how much more enjoyable the action scenes are in this movie. Without shaky cam, they're just the action, the characters are still, during the shootouts, and you can just see what's happening, wide shots, and you can see what's happening. I just wish they would film movies like this again. No shaky cam. Action scenes were really enjoyable in here. Good pacing throughout the movie, and an interesting murder story where it's set in the future, not too crazy or too far into the future, but there are these robots, and I think they're replacing like workers, and like everyone has a robot as like their personal servant, but the creator of these robots, he's found dead, what looks like an apparent suicide, but actually Will Smith, who's a cop, he suspects that one of the robots has gone rogue and killed his maker. And it was a really intelligent, creative story with really good action throughout, so I was really impressed with this after having really forgotten a lot of it. So definitely gonna watch this one again. The Terminator, this is the remastered version that came out I think 2 years ago, and I'm really glad that they cleaned up the audio on this version, because the one that I have in my box set, the anthology, the audio was terrible. I was cranking it, I had it all the way up, and I still couldn't hear, I couldn't hear the dialogue. They cleaned up the audio. I think without going back and comparing to the original transfer, I think it looked like the picture was better as well. I mean, noticeably. And the Terminator, really good movie. I think kind of an underrated one of the series. And there's really only two, because everyone hates 3 and 4. But I think it just gets overshadowed by 2. But this is a pretty solid movie. Still really good action. And this is where they actually fight the Terminator, Schwarzenegger's character. I think it's kind of a little more entertaining than in the second one where they're fighting that liquid dude. So, the Terminator, great classic action movie. Not as good as the second one, but still very good. Alright, 2 more titles. This is Batman Beyond the movie. I unboxed this as part of my my series of unboxings of all of the superhero animated shows, all of the seasons of the various shows that I had been unboxing. But this is one that I had, just like the first volume of Batman the Animated Series. This is one I've had for a long time. I think I got this also back in I think 2003 maybe, before I had Batman the Animated Series. And what this is just the pilot episode, which is a 2-part thing, Rebirth, and then the next 5 episodes of the first season. I always thought, actually, when I bought this way back when I was little, I thought this was Return of the Joker, but it's not. And I just got that Blu-ray as well, and unboxed it with all of the seasons of all the shows that I got. But Batman Beyond the movie, I actually really love the pilot. I think I saw this actually a couple years ago, just the pilot. I was going through my old DVDs. This is a DVD, by the way, just says the 2 seasons of Batman that I showed. But the pilot is just so good. The way they connect it to Bruce Wayne's Batman, I loved it. It's really dark. The action is great, and even the episodes after the pilot, they're not as interesting, but still the action is good, and I can't wait to watch all 3 seasons. I picked them all up, and I can't wait to. I watched this before I ordered all of the seasons of the show, and watching the first couple of episodes, I'm really excited to see the full season and the next 2. So I love this. And by the way, I just want to mention with the other Batman the Animated Series, the 2 volumes I showed, they are DVDs. And I don't think they're ever going to put them on Blu-ray. I think I read online that they can't because of the original film source. I don't know if that's true, but something I read. But don't let the fact that it's on DVD stop you from getting it. I think I kind of felt that way for a while. But I should have gotten these when I first started collecting movies, because this is really my childhood, and this is, again, what I really love. But the picture quality is really not bad, especially if you're watching it in a Blu-ray player. A Blu-ray player is supposed to improve the quality of your DVDs, so you're really not missing anything here because they're on DVD. And I just want to say that every once in a while the film gets all crackly and breaks up, but I think that's just kind of a nice vintage touch. So really good, even though they're DVDs. All right, and the final movie in this update, the Rocky, is this the heavyweight? Yeah, the Rocky Heavyweight Collection on Blu-ray. And I think each film in this is remastered, or at least the old ones. I'm not certain about that, but I believe that was the case. This I got last summer, and it was only $20 for all 6 movies. I couldn't believe it. Thought it was a really amazing deal. And I had seen every single Rocky movie years ago before getting this. I was never a huge fan, but they're classic movies and they're just fun to watch. I mean, I rewatched them all, and I don't know which one's my favorite. Maybe three, I think, would be my favorite, but or no, sorry, four, where he fights Drago. That's my favorite, but they're really fun to watch. When you see the training montages, it's emotional, and the fight scenes I don't think are even that great, really. But they're classics, and they're good movies to watch. You don't really have to love them or be a huge fan to appreciate them. And I had a fun time watching all of them. Six, I think, is really underrated just because of how heavy emotionally that movie is. I really enjoyed Six, but a really nice set. I think they've even re-released a version of this set, I think like an anniversary edition since then. But if you can get this cheap, which I imagine you could, I would get it just to have these movies. The picture quality, I didn't even find that great. I mean, I didn't compare them to anything, but just nice movies with a good story. They just feel like they kind of have more substance than a lot of movies these days. And, oh, by the way, Southpaw, another movie I reviewed this summer. Check my review out for that. There's this huge craze about Southpaw and people comparing it to Rocky. I saw Jake Gyllenhaal on ESPN First Take, and I just think it's crazy. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Rocky, I think these are way, way, way better than Southpaw. In every way, the story, the emotion, the characters, and the fight scenes, which I just said that I did not love, I think are way better than the boxing scenes in Southpaw. So definitely watch these over Southpaw, please. Southpaw does not even compare to any of these movies. Maybe five. But I would definitely rather watch Six than watch Southpaw. But yeah, that's the Rocky Heavyweight Collection. And that is it for my whatever Blu-ray update this is, 5 or 6. Thank you guys for watching. I know that was really long. I think we went over an hour here. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to be more frequent and consistent with my updates. Hopefully I'll do another one in a month or so, but check out my unboxings and my reviews that I've done this past summer. I've reviewed some popular movies, Inside Out, Ant-Man, Jurassic World, Rogue Nation, all the blockbuster movies this summer. Check those out, and I'll be back with an update soon, and I'll continue with my reviews. I should have a review of Fantastic Four out at the same time as this video, and then my next review will be of Sicario, the next movie I'm going to see in theaters by the director of Prisoners and Enemy, Denis Villeneuve. Looking forward to that, but thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out Shopkick, link in the description. But thank you guys. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.